We are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. Yesterday we heard Vidur is speaking to Uddhava. Vidur also heard from Uddhava about the appearance and disappearance of Lord Krishna, the Super Soul, in the mortal world, which is a subject matter sought after with great perseverance by the great sages. Then also we heard the Lord's glorious acts and his acceptance of various transcendental forms for the performance of extraordinary pastimes in the mortal world are very difficult for anyone other than his devotees to understand. And for the beasts, they're simply a mental disturbance. Here I will read the commentary by Srila Sai Maharaj. The transcendental forms and pastimes of the Lord, as described in Bhagavad Gita, are difficult subject matters for those who are not devotees to understand. That truth will descend to a surrendered soul. You cannot grasp it with material sense. And that is why you will find in the introduction to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Sai Maharaj told, no one can understand this book unless he has faith in Krishna. So at least you should have theoretical faith in Krishna. Then you can understand. The Lord never reveals himself to persons like the Jnanis and Yogis. Why? Because they don't want him. And they are not inclined to serve him. Krishna has his own will. He is Asamurdva. No one is equal to him or more than him. So his will is the only way how one can realize him. Like our Gurudev gave that example, we have that experience that with the light we can see other objects. But during night time, is it possible by any amount of gathered lights, electric lights or candles or anything, to show the sun? Not possible. We have to wait for the sun to rise in the morning. Then by his grace we can see him, not otherwise. So yogis and jnanis, they are not surrendered to Krishna. They are doing certain austerities to get liberation or mystic powers. So why Krishna will be revealed to them? And if they become proud that they got that result by themselves, exclusively by their effort, not admitting that Krishna is giving the fruit, as Krishna says in Gita, karmani vadikarastema paleshu kadachan. O Arjuna, you have that capacity for action, but you have no hold over the fruits of the actions. That is given by me. So if someone does not admit this, then because of that offense and thinking I am supreme, I am independent, because of that offense, they will have to go down again into this material false ego. Because in this world we have these false egos. I'm man, I'm woman, I'm Slovenian, I'm Indian, I'm American, I'm old, rich, all these things. So jnanis, they're temporary, always changing. But jnanis and yogis, they go above these egos. By their practice, they can go above. They do not identify with anything material. But still, what they think at that moment, that I'm equal to Brahma Jyoti, I'm one with Brahma, because they have such experience, no difference there. And this matter is lower and nothing, they have no realization of superior, so they think I am supreme. Yogis think I am same as Paramatma, super soul. They meditate. So that is also one kind of false ego. Although it is not this worldly false ego. They're not thinking I'm man or woman, like Shukadeva Goswami. But unless they realize that they are eternal servants of Krishna, that thinking I'm supreme because I'm spirit, that is also one kind of false ego. And I'm independent, that is false ego. False identification of self. So because of that, they again have to come down. But those who, like Shukadeva Goswami, they accepted their eternal relation with Krishna after hearing about him, and naturally in relation to him you will feel who are you in relation to him when hearing from bona fide source about Krishna. He could be attracted because that is the nature of every soul. So he was attracted to Krishna and accepted his service. So that is real ego, real identity, real ego, eternal. And only one who is in that real ego and inclined to serve Krishna, he can know about Krishna. Yogis and Gyanis, they cannot. And then you will also have some Mayavadi Gyanis. There are different types of Gyanis. Brahmavadis, Mayavadis, all different. You will find in Chaitanya Charitamrita many types of Gyanis. And which stage they got, so many. And yogis also. So they think that impersonal spirit, formless impersonal spirit, that is supreme, and I am that. Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvam Asi, then Pragyanam Brahma, Sarvam Kinovidam Brahma. They think I am that, all-pervading spirit everywhere. They think. And they think, falsely think, that when Brahman, that spirit, takes some form in this world, material form, limited form of Satyaguna, they think that is Krishna, that is Ramchandra, that is Nrsimha or Kali, Shiva or anything, whatever you like. They think all same. They're all same. They are Brahman in that pot of matter. But that is false. That is not true. That is their misunderstanding. When Krishna appears in this world, he comes in his eternal form, but they are not able to recognize. They misunderstand like this. Therefore, they also think, when I realize that I am spirit, then I am same as Krishna. I can also be God for other living entities. If they worship me, if they chant my name, I am avatar, then also they will get that fruit of devotion, which is concentration, and then they will be able to go to higher stages of meditation and they will realize that spirit. That is misunderstanding. That is why they cannot understand Krishna's pastimes and his form, trance and all this, because only devotees are able to understand by Krishna's grace. Like we can realize sun by his grace. When we accept his will and we open our eyes, then we can understand. So Gyanis and Yogis, they think everything what has a form is already Maya, it is false. But that is not true. Some are Mayic forms of Maya, limited, and there are spiritual forms of Krishna and of his devotees. There, that is not material, but appears in this world out of own will and does. So that is very difficult point to understand if you are not devotee, that faith is not awakened in your heart and you have no inclination to surrender, to serve Krishna, then you cannot understand. That is why they commit offense, as Krishna says in Gita, and they have to go down. So only devotees. So that is why here Sai Maharaj wrote, the Lord never reveals himself to persons like the Gyanis and Yogis. They are unable to. Of course, Bhakti Yogi is not included here, because Bhakti Yogi is a devotee, he can realize. And there are others who, because of their envying the Lord from the bottom of their hearts, are classified amongst the beasts. And for such envious beasts, the subject matter of the Lord's appearance and disappearance is simply a mental disturbance. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 7:15, the miscreants who are simply concerned with material enjoyment, who work very hard like beasts of burden, can hardly know the personality of Godhead at any stage due to the asurika bhav, or a spirit of revolt against the Supreme Lord. Means they cannot. Demons also, although they, asura means demon, although they may see Supreme Lord, like Hiranyakashipu, Kamsa, Jarasandha, Ravan, they saw, but they could not recognize who is he. When they were killed by him, then they understood. They felt in their Atma at that time. Before they had wrong perception. They thought he's my enemy something, so I have to kill him. But fighting with Krishna, so he also likes to play, so he kills them, and when he kills them means their body and gross body and subtle body is destroyed, then they will feel compassion of Krishna inside their Atma. Atma cannot be destroyed. Their gross and subtle body is destroyed. That time they will feel that Krishna is not like that, as they thought he is. He's my enemy. No, he's my well-wisher. Krishna is a well-wisher of all. Sarva Suhrit Sarva Dehinam. He's a friend of all. So they feel that in Atma, then they also become his devotees. But before that, they are unable to, because they revolt against Supreme Lord. And those anarthas in us, means other desires, they're also acting like demons. We want to serve Krishna, engage in his service, but other desires will pull us in other directions. They will resist. So it is very difficult. There is fight also. But with strong determination and sincerity and faith, if someone practices, and also very important factor now in Kali Yuga is to be in association of devotees. That will give you strength to go on with practice, crossing all those obstacles. The transcendental bodily expansions manifested by the Lord for his pastimes in the mortal world, and the appearance and disappearance of such transcendental expansions are difficult subject matters, and those who are not devotees are advised not to discuss the Lord's appearance and disappearance, lest they commit further offenses at the lotus feet of the Lord. The more they discuss the transcendental appearance and disappearance of the Lord in the Asuric spirit, that is demoniac spirit, the more they enter into the darkest region of hell, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 16:20. Anyone who is against the transcendental loving service of the Lord is more or less a beastly creature, as confirmed in this verse of SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. There is also another one verse that there are so many species of life, and human being is different because he can accept dharma, that duty to Supreme Lord, eternal, he can accept. Others cannot. Only unknowingly they may. But human being can accept. But if human being does not accept dharma, then he is no better than animal or beast. So here, because you will find those who are middle class devotees. There are beginner class, middle class, and highest class. Those who are highest class devotees, they see only all is Krishna Lila, and all are serving him, either directly or indirectly. But I am not able to serve him. Out of humbleness they are having such mood. So they are unable to preach or make disciples, or no, not possible for them. Only those who are middle class devotees or those who are higher class devotees, when they are ordered by Krishna to preach, then they will do the pastime of this middle class. This middle class is seeing one is Supreme Lord and he has pure devotion to him. He sees those who are devotees, they are worshipping him. He becomes friends with them, means he's favorably inclined to devotees of Krishna. They're also on different levels, so he's respecting and serving accordingly. And he sees there are some innocent souls, they're ignorant, but they are ready to hear. If you explain, then they are ready to hear. So they will be merciful to them. They will try to make them inclined to serve Krishna. That is their grace. And they will guide them, they will give mantra and everything. But there are some who are very much asuric spirit now, demoniac, because they are on that phase now. Every soul ultimately will come out from that, but those who are in that phase, due to their previous actions, it is not that Krishna is giving them such nature, they earned it by their actions. So they will always argue against. They will give some useless arguments and always argue based on their wrong assumptions and speculations and all this. They will do. So those who are middle class devotees, preachers, they will not spend time with them, waste time with them. They will avoid them, ignore them. That will be their grace to them. Middle class devotee does not hate anyone because he sees all as related to same Supreme Lord. He does not see friends and enemies. I am Chinese, so I hate America, or I am this thing is there. But those who are devotees, they see all are coming from same Supreme Lord. There is no friend and enemy based on bodily these identities. So they will argue uselessly, those. So Madhyamandikaris, they are, means middle class devotees, they are very much merciful to them by avoiding them, not giving them opportunity to further their offenses. That will be harmful to them. So they will not avoid. But when by time and they will gather some sukriti, then they will also be able to accept gradually. That time they will have them. Human being can willingly accept dharma, but animals, they're only out of instinct and other living entities. But it may be possible that they may gather sukriti also unknowingly, unwillingly. There was one bird flying, and one hunter shot him with the arrow, and that bird, while dying, he was like flying down like this. And that was above one Vishnu temple. So he was falling like this, and unknowingly, unwillingly, he circumambulated the temple, the parikrama around. That pleased Supreme Lord, because that action is pleasing to Supreme Lord. If someone goes around his temple, that is one kind of service. To keep him in the center, that is service. So that bird, when he died, that Atma, soul, because of this Sukriti, did not go through all the evolution to come to the human life. Immediately was promoted to human life, and in that human life got association of devotees. And in association of devotees, he became inclined to serve Krishna, accepted, and he was liberated. So sometimes it can happen, and sometimes due to some reason, as we see in the case of Gajendra, he was before one king, devotee. Then he was cursed by that Devala Rishi. Then he became elephant. Although he is animal, elephant body, but he is a devotee inside, heart. So when the appropriate time came, he surrendered to Supreme Lord and was liberated. He got that transcendental body for the service of Krishna. So these are exceptional cases where animals also, they may do bhajan. Atmanam cha kuru shreshta Krishnena manasekshitam dhyayan gate bhagavate ruroda prema vishvala. Understanding that he was remembered by Lord Krishna while quitting this world, Vidur began to cry loudly, overwhelmed by the ecstasy of love. Here's I'm understanding. Vidur was overwhelmed by the ecstasy of love when he understood that Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thought of him at the last moment. Although he thought of himself as insignificant, he was remembered by the Lord, by his causeless mercy. Vidur accepted this as a great favor, and thus he cried. This crying is the last word in the progressive path of devotional service. When you feel how merciful Krishna is, or how merciful Gurudev is, when you can realize, then you cannot but cry. One who can cry for the Lord in love is certainly successful in the line of devotional service. That is why Srila Gaur Govinda Sai Maharaj, he said, I have opened a crying school here in Bhubaneswar to learn how to cry for Krishna. And that Banshidas Babaji Maharaj in Navadip, he was Uttamadikari, topmost devotee. And he was not playing the pastime of Madhyamadikari. So you cannot understand his behavior. How he is worshipping Krishna, you may misunderstand. Judging based on rules and regulations for your stage. So Prabhupada told them, you should not go near Babaji Maharaj. He is a pure devotee, but from far you should bow down to him. You should not go near him. You will not understand his activities. You will commit offense. So Banshidas Babaji Maharaj, sometimes he would, someone would ask him something. So one time, one man, he asked Babaji Maharaj, how I can attain God? Babaji Maharaj ignored him, did not reply anything. Then repeatedly that man was coming and asking, Babaji Maharaj replied. Then one day, Babaji Maharaj asked him, what do you want? Then that man said, I want to get God. How can I get God? Then with only one word, Banshidas Babaji Maharaj replied, cry. Only this one word. Our Gurudev told we would explain by so many words and so many scriptural evidences we will give and so many things. But Babaji Maharaj explained in one word. And that was coming from his direct realization. So that will touch. You have to cry for him. Really, you have to be very eager for him. Otherwise, you cannot get him. If there are other desires, we may say with our mouth that we want, but inside we don't want actually. So many other desires there. Our Gurudev gave that example. One mother, she had two children, one smaller and one bigger. So she engaged herself in cooking. She was having concentration there. Then that small baby started to cry. Then mother told to the bigger one, you go and buy that toy in the shop and you give to him. So he went and he bought him that toy. It makes nice sound, and that boy was playing with that toy and he stopped crying. He forgot. Then after some time, he again was crying, and because mother is engaged there in cooking, she had no time. So she again said, you give him that toy. And like this, many times, he would again pick up the toy and play. But after some time, when he did not want that toy anymore and he was very hungry and he was crying, then mother understood, yes, now I cannot remain here. Now I have to go, because he started to scream and throw his arms and legs and everywhere. He was really eager and did not want anything. Then mother came and pacified him. Like that, Krishna is doing his own pastimes in his abode, Vrindavan. So we are saying, yes, Krishna, I want you. So Krishna gives us these toys. You accept money, you accept wife, you accept husband, you accept children, you accept these, all these things you play, the toys giving. So we get those toys and we play. We forget about Krishna. We don't want Krishna. But if one will say from the core of heart, when that eagerness will be awakened, no, Krishna, I don't want anything. Nothing is giving me happiness. It is all temporary, all are selfish, and he really means it. I don't want anything. I only want you. That same second, Gurudev told me, that same second Krishna will come to you. If really you want. Krishna is always eager, but we don't want him because we are engaged in playing with these toys in this world. We think we will be happy. But if really we want, then we will cry for him only. Like Banshidas Babaji said, if you can cry for him, means you are very desperate. You really mean it. When this desperation or this, our Gurudev used the word perturbation of heart is there, then you can get him. Kalindya katibih siddha ahobir bharatarshabha prapadyata swah saritam yatra mitra suto muni. After passing a few days on the bank of the river Jamuna, Vidur, the self-realized soul, reached the bank of the Ganges where the great sage Maitreya was situated. So Krishna is very merciful. He is always trying to help us to come to him because he is eager. Only we have to accept his grace. Then those who are having purified vision, they see Tatenu Kampam Susamikshamanam. They see in all circumstances, in all events, in everything, it is Krishna's mercy to purify me from my ignorance, from other desires, from my fruits of my wrong actions. And he wants to invite me to him. Those who can see this grace of Krishna in all circumstances, they are crying for Krishna. They are always they are not disturbed under any circumstance because they have no other desire, only Krishna. Immediately when we have some other desires, we become disturbed. Even Siddhartha Gautam Buddha understood the other desires are the root cause of suffering. When you have desires, then that is suffering. Devotees, they know this is true, but to have desire to serve Krishna is not giving suffering. On the contrary, it will give fulfillment, and getting that, you will be able to naturally give up all other desires. Like we heard Dhruva, when he saw Supreme Lord getting that taste, he forgot everything other. Prahlad Maharaj, by the blessing of Narad, had no desire other than the service of Krishna. And Ambarish Maharaj, he performed sadhana. He performed all 9 forms of devotion with sincerity. So by engaging in those devotional practices, he gradually attained higher taste, and by that he, at the same time, gradually he lost interest in anything else. We think, if I will get this, then I will be happy. And if I will try to get God, then I will have to give up this, but I don't want to. Because then how I will be happy? That is our ignorance. By getting the service of God, you will get real happiness. You will not be deprived of anything. Like I said some days before, in Taittiriya Upanishad is written, the human being has certain amount of happiness, maximum, then Gandharva will have more. That bliss of Gandharva has 100 times more than human, but it is also the bliss of liberated soul. 100 times more than Gandharva, that karma, devata, they will get, and that is also the bliss of liberated soul. And like this it goes. Then it is explained, because liberated soul has all happiness. He also has all those happinesses. Because it is bliss degree is there, so he has ultimate degree of bliss. So all lower bliss degrees are already included, but we are ignorant, so we don't want the service of Krishna. We want other things. Then we have to be disturbed. Then I ask Gurudev, then what I have to do now? I have so many desires. Other than the service of Krishna, it is true. Then Guru said, you have to associate with pure devotees. Then, by their association, one day will come that in your heart that you will want nothing but Krishna. Then you will get him immediately, and all disturbance, everything will be totally removed once and for all. There can be no cause of any disturbance if you don't have any other desire except service of Krishna. So here, now, Vidur, after speaking with Uddhava in Vrindavan on the bank of Jamuna, he went to Ganga because Uddhava told him, you have to go to Maitreya, he will explain to you. Shri Shuka Uvach Dvari Dyunadya Rishabah Karunam Maitreyam Asinam Agada Bodham Kshato Pa Srityachuta Bhavasida Papracha Soshilya Gunabi Triptaha. Shukadev Goswami said, Vidur, the best among the Kuru dynasty, who was perfect in devotional service to the Lord, thus reached the source of the celestial Ganges river, that is Haridwar, where she comes down, but actually source is Gangotri in Himalaya, but reaches the ground in Haridwar, where Maitreya, the great, fathomless, learned sage of the world, was seated. Vidur, who was perfect in gentleness and satisfied in transcendence, inquired from him. 1 second. Yes. Uddhava told him that because Uddhava will now go to Badrik Ashram, you may take lessons from the great learned sage Maitreya. He was directly instructed by the personality of Godhead while he was about to quit this mortal world. Yes, Uddhava and Maitreya were directly instructed by the Lord. Both had the authority to become the spiritual master of Vidur or anyone else. One should not be eager to become a spiritual master cheaply for the sake of profit and fame, but should become a spiritual master only for the service of the Lord. The Lord never tolerates the impertinence of Marjada Vyatikram. One should never pass over the honor due to an elderly spiritual master in the interests of one's own personal gain and fame. Impertinence on the part of the pseudo-spiritual master is very risky to progressive spiritual realization. Means the obstacle, that is Putana, demon, that has to be killed by Krishna, false guru. The real guru is one who is trying to satisfy Krishna by encouraging jivas to serve Krishna and guiding them how they should do this. And they're doing this to satisfy Krishna, and that is compassion for the jivas, because they will be liberated from suffering and they will go to Supreme Lord. So in that way he can do. But if there is any other motive behind, that I will get money, I will get name and fame, I will get this, then that will be obstacle to his spiritual progress. He cannot attain. So he will ultimately ruin himself. So that we have to be careful. So here Vidur submitted. Vidur Uvach sukhaya karmani karoti loko nataih sukham vanyat uparamam va vindeta bhuyas tata eva dukkham yat atra yuktam bhagavan vaden naha. Vidur said, O great sage, everyone in this world engages in fruitive activities to attain happiness, but one finds neither satiation nor the mitigation of distress. On the contrary, one is only aggravated by such activities. Please, therefore, give us directions on how one should live for real happiness. Fruitive activity means I will do some action, and that fruit I will enjoy. I will exploit. So that type of action, we think we can be happy, but the opposite result is coming. In 11th canto also this is there. Just the opposite they will get. So one who can see this, he will be able to inquire about what is the real path. Otherwise he will have that promise again and again, chewing what was already chewed. Brahma, later in Bhagavatam, there is one verse, our Gurudev was very fond of repeating that verse, that not only information, but direct experience people they have. They are trying for money, body relations, all these things they are trying, and after some time they are losing, and they are having so much separation grief. Not only they have information that all this is temporary, but they have practical experience. Still, after losing that, again they will try for same thing. Again and again. Brahma said, why is that? Because that root, ignorance, was not removed. That cannot satiate you, cannot fulfill you. That idea was not removed. So again and again they will try, although with experience. So here Vidur is telling, I see this. And there are other examples in Bhagavatam in 11th canto that Prabuddha Muni said to Nimi Maharaj, you see, they are trying for happiness but not getting. To test that disciple, whether he will agree or not. If he can agree, then he can give him the real path. But as long as he will think, no, they will have to try more, and with some other more members and like this, they will expand, then they will get. So then he is not yet ready to accept the real path. So please therefore give us directions on how one should live for real happiness. Another example our Gurudev was very fond of giving, that man who was lying on the ground, and Prahlad Maharaj and his ministers, they came and they all thought he's a mad person. Then Prahlad Maharaj understood that ministers misunderstood him, so he bowed down to him and asked him, why you are not working for happiness like all these people? Then that man also understood why Prahlad is asking, to give teaching to others. Then he said, yes, they are all working for happiness, but they are not getting. So why I will work? I'm seeing this. And not only in this world, I went to lower planetary systems, 7 down. I saw everyone. I went to upper planetary systems, up to Brahmaloka. I saw they're all working for happiness by fruitive actions. No one is happy. So why I will do like them? Why? I saw it. If there is anyone happy in all these 14 planetary systems in this material universe, it is you, Prahlad. Only you. Because you accepted Supreme Lord, He's all existence, all knowledge, all bliss, you are the one. So here, you humbly he inquired, you give us direction for getting real happiness. Janasya Krishna Dvimukasya Devat Adharma Shilasya Sudukhitasya Anugrahayeha Charantinunam Bhutani Bhavyani Janardanasya. O my Lord, great philanthropic souls travel on the earth on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to show compassion to the fallen souls who are averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord. They are the real philanthropists. Yes. Nowadays, you will see some are in the garb or in the, like they are saying, claiming we are philanthropists. To cheat people, to exploit people. They come in such dress. To exploit people, they will cheat them. This is much used, this philanthropy. But real philanthropy means to do good to others is these souls who are trying to inspire jivas to surrender to Krishna. That will be eternally beneficial for them. So they're helping, as I told before, those middle class devotees or higher who are doing this job. They have compassion for all living entities and they are trying to do this, and this service is very pleasing to Krishna, most pleasing. Tat sadhu varyadisha vartma shamna samradito bhagavan yena pungsham hridistito yachati bhakti pute jnanam satatva di gamam puranam. Therefore, O great sage, please give me instruction on the transcendental devotional service of the Lord, so that He, means Krishna, who is situated in the heart of everyone, can be pleased to impart from within knowledge of the absolute truth in terms of the ancient Vedic principles, delivered only to those who are purified by the process of devotional service. Gurus are of many kinds. Vartma Pradarsha Guru, one who will first give you indication to you go to worship Supreme Lord. Then there is one who will be Diksha Guru, one who will initiate. Then Shiksha Guru, one who will help you with instructions. And then Bhajan Guru in Rag Marg, that is more advanced. And one Guru is also Chaitya Guru, from within, Paramatma. Chaitya Guru, they are all showing same direction, from out and from within. They will inspire you, like this. So here Vidur is praying for instruction, for devotional service to the Lord who is situated in the heart of everyone. Because Krishna, by his blessing, everything will be revealed in our heart. It is not only by studying you can understand. You have to engage in devotional service. Then when Krishna will be pleased, the Dhammi Buddhi Jogam Jena Mamupayanti, then when he will be pleased, then he will reveal that. We cannot independently get it. So we have to attract his grace. So here he is praying for this. Yes, those Vedic principles delivered only to those who are purified by the process of devotional service. Yes, so the time is over. Tomorrow there will be no Skype program because we are going to Croatia, Zagreb. We will have program there with devotees. So we will continue on Monday.